How's it going, everybody? Maurice here from noblecopy.com, and today we're going to be talking about short stories. Okay, so I have 3 secrets that I want to tell you so you can write better short stories. Okay, so number 1 is character, right? I suggest, right, that you only have 1 main character in a short story. If you have 2, yeah, sure, you can do it. You can probably do 3 or 4, but you know, for just a couple thousand words, I think that it works better if it's only 1 main character, right? You should start off the character as already conflicted. And what I mean by conflicted is that the character has past issues, right? So let's say they are divorced, or they're suffering PTSD from the war, or something like that. Whatever it is, I think that you should start off your short story as with a character, with a main character who already has some type of problems, right? Now, the purpose of that is that it gives them something to overcome in the future throughout the rest of the short story. Now, this conflicted character, because there are problems beforehand, it gives the plot something to go on, right? So even if the plot isn't about, let's say, you know, war, like I said, the character can still go through something throughout this short story that can help them, let's say, with the PTSD or with the getting over of the marriage, right? So the main character can learn a lesson by the end, right? So, and that's the key. So number 1, you want to have 1 main character and make that character already have past issues. That's number 1. Number 2 is plot. Now, for a 5,000 word short story, chances are it's not going to really be that plot heavy. And what I mean is like a plot, like a mystery or a thriller, something like that, like an action, right? Now, those are generally plot heavy stories, right? So what I mean by that is that the character doesn't really make their own decisions throughout the story. What that means is that there's already situations happening that the character has to work out in order for the plot to move forward again, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. For a short story, I think that it should stay a character-driven story, right? The more choices a character makes, the better the story is going to be. Why? Because we make choices, right? So when we read a story with a character making choices, it's going to reflect upon us. It'll bring us more into the story, and that's what you want, right? That's a character-driven story. That's number 2. Number 3 is that there can be no filler, no fluff, whatever. Each word, each paragraph, each sentence has to mean something. They have to be important. They have to be there for a reason. Not one sentence can be there for just the hell of it, right? There can be no wasted words whatsoever. Now, that really comes down to the editing process, but it's very important, because you don't want, you know, 10,000 words of a short story and all of a sudden you start talking about, you know, the weather or the street signs or something like that, right? You only want to keep what is very important in the story at all times. That's regarding character and regarding the plot. Every single word must make sense, and it must be there for a reason. If you read it, if you revise it several times and you see that there's a sentence that really doesn't make, that really shouldn't be there, get rid of it. Just get rid of it, delete it, don't worry about it. And also, on a side note, I think that you should limit flashbacks, right? So for a short story, I suggest that you don't really go the flashback route. If you do, stick with, you know, a couple sentences, maybe a paragraph describing the flashback, because you really want to stay in the present time. You don't want to waste time in your story talking about something that happened before the story even started. So if you absolutely must use a flashback, keep it very, very short. Okay, so there's the 3 secrets to writing a damn good short story. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm completely way off base? Let me know what you think in the comments below.